I'm Dr. Deborah Bemudia, Doctor of Cardiovascular Physiologist. I want to enlighten and put us through the aspect of cardiovascular physiology, specifically that has to do with ECG interpretation by using graphical representation. This is ECG graph representation, and this is P wave, and this Q wave, this is arrow wave, this is S, and this is T. From the P wave, you know, the P wave represents atrial depolarization. The height is looking at the right part of the atrium, which is the height. The height. And the height represents the millivolts. It represents the volts of the heart. And the width, this is the width in the P wave, is representing the period, the time it takes for the heart for electrical activities to occur. And is looking at the latter part of the atrium. That is the period, which is the width of the atrium. It represents the period, it represents the latter part of the atrium, but this part, which is the height, represents the height, it represents the right hand part of the atrium. The right atrium and the left atrium do not hypertrophy. Rather, they enlarge. So, the height is measured in millivolts and the period is measured in seconds. That will take us to the P arrow interval. The P arrow interval, that is the onset of the atrial depolarization and the beginning of ventricular depolarization. And that will take us to the P arrow segments. The P arrow segments, from here, the end of that is at the end of atrial depolarization, the end of it, and the onset of ventricular depolarization. It represents the P arrow segment, and is the first isoelectric line. You can see is straight line. The first isoelectric line. That will take us to the Q wave. The Q wave, it has normal value, but when the Q wave, 1/3 of arrow wave is not equal to Q wave, it becomes pathological. And when it's pathological, that means the individual has once presented with myocardial infarction, or presently the individual has what? Myocardial infarction. That is MI, myocardial infarction. That means the individual is presenting with stroke, or the individual has once had stroke. That will take us to the arrow wave. The arrow wave actually is not having much significance, but is having significance when you want to study the LVH, that is the left ventricle. The left ventricle greater than 35 mm. This 35, there is a way we calculate it. So, in our next class, I will teach you guys how to calculate left ventricular hypertrophy. But when the value you obtain is greater than 35 mm, that is millimeter, that means there's LVH, left ventricular hypertrophy. And left ventricular hypertrophy is in keeping with hypertension. An individual cannot be having hypertension and the left ventricle is still intact. You know, I said earlier on, the atrium do not hypertrophy, they enlarge, but the ventricle hypertrophy. And when there is a hypertrophy of the ventricle, that means the individual is presenting with what? Hypertension. That is the significance of the arrow wave. And you use leads, the precordial leads, either V5 or V6. You measure the arrow wave in V5 or V6, then you equate it to the S wave in V4. You may not understand that now, but in our next class, I will teach you guys how to calculate it. So when it's greater than 35 mm, that means the individual is having LVH. That will take us to the QROS complex. The QROS complex is used to calculate the angle the heart is sustaining. We have the normal axis deviation, which is left. We have right axis deviation, and we have the left axis deviation, and we only have the indeterminate axis. But physiologically, the normal axis deviation is the left, which is normal axis deviation. That will take us to the ST segment. ST segment is the second isoelectric line. But it's the first isoelectric line after QRS complex. Okay? But in an individual that is having ischemic heart attack, or that is having adrenal fibrosis, or that is having myocardial infarction, the ST segment can either be elevated or depressed. So when it's elevated, you will know the individual is having ischemic heart attack. When it's depressed, you will know the individual is having myocardial infarction. Are you getting what I'm saying? So when it's depressed, there is MR. But when it's elevated, there is what? Ischemic heart attack. Are you getting what I'm saying? When it's elevated, there is ischemic heart attack. When it's depressed, there is myocardial infarction. Therefore, individual that has presented or that is currently having stroke, this is myocardial infarction. This ST segment is depressed, and at the same time, the Q wave, there will be pathological Q wave. What I said earlier on, the arrow wave, when you divide it into three, 1, 2, 3, I said it should be equal. 1/10 of this Q wave should be this arrow wave. 1, 2, 3. So if you divide it, you carry one part of from here, you put here, it will be the same. Then when this one part, this Q wave is now greater than one part of it, you know the Q wave is going what? Pathological what? Q wave. This is what is called standing out in terms of fundamental physiology. Because when you look at the Q wave and you make a report that the Q wave is greater than 1/10 of the arrow wave, that means the individual, either the individual has not presented with stroke, which the individual has been treated of, then that injury will still be there. Are you getting me? The injury will still be there. Then if they have been treated, are you getting me? Then you will know that this individual has not presented with stroke. So that is it. Then the T wave is representing the ventricular depolarization. That is representing okay? So then if the T wave is becoming tinted, that means the individual is having increase in the level of the electrolyte called potassium. Then when this T wave is inverted, that means the individual a single way. You are going to see all of them together. Okay? So if the entire presence of this U wave is present like this, that is upward U wave, that means the individual is having increase in what? Calcium, which we call hyper what? Calcemia. So you now make your report and say there is hyper what? Calcemia. Then if there is decrease, if there is that is inverted like this, flashback. If there is inversion like this, before another P wave, inversion, that means the individual is equally having calcium, but the calcium is what? Low. It's low. But if the calcium is physiological, you know what I mean? Normal level. This U wave will not be there. That was why I said U wave in an ECG presentation is not supposed to be what? Present. It becomes present in pathological what? That is all. And again, this U wave can only be used to assess what? Block. Isn't it? Yeah. You know, I already gave you guys formula. Yeah. What was the formula? I said when you see T wave like this, you see another upward. Abi? Yes. Before another P wave. Yes. This one is first degree what? Cool, you are following. Then if you see another P wave like this, before another P wave, 1, 2. 1, 2, before this one. It's not silent. If it's 1, 2, 3 before the P wave, that's what? Don't forget. That's why I said P, QT, interval. It can only be used now to determine heart block. Why? If the T ends, there's supposed to be another P wave, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Then you are seeing something that is looking like P wave before the original P wave. That's first degree heart block. You don't need to tell me, you can't see the graph like this. You look at it, you see a P wave. You're not seeing something that is looking like a P wave before another P wave, you know it's first degree heart block. So when you are now interpreting such a thing, the doctor will say, oh my God, this person knows what he or she is what?
Doing.
So, don't understand.